3 Sports Desk, brought to you by John Foy & Associates, Personal Injury Law. Injured? Call the Strong Arm.
Hey everybody, what's up and what's good? Welcome to week 6 of the WRBL News 3 Prep Zone. I'm Jack Patterson. That's my man Tyler Redmond. T-Red, what's going on tonight?
Well, we've got a ton of games from across the valley and beyond, as always. So let's go ahead and get started with our Auto Gallery Prep Zone game of the week for week 6, which takes us out to Otis Spencer Stadium. Columbus and Carver battling to stay undefeated. In the first quarter, we hope you got your popcorn ready because Kelston Tarver is starting the party with a bang. 59 yards all the way to the house. Tigers lead at 7-0.
He is a problem in that backfield.
And then early in the second quarter, the Blue Devils in a methodical drive downfield with Rashawn Glover getting into the end zone. Just like that, we're tied up at 7. But 3 plays later, it's Sebastian Hurd. We've heard the name. Here he is throwing a dime to TJ Woodson. Accuracy there on point, and he takes it in for 6. Carver retakes the lead. It's 14-7. Next Columbus drive, the Carver defense strikes. Andrew Smith is stripped by Nuke Simmons, and TJ Hightower is there for the scoop and the score. That makes it 21-7 Carver. Tigers come away with a big win, 63-7, and they do remain undefeated.
By the way, that was Kobe Castlin on that last touchdown. Now let's take you to Kinnett Stadium tonight. It's the Jordan Red Jackets taking on the Spencer Green Wave. Early on, Spencer's Elijah Fudge firing a screen pass to Amari Couch, and Amari turns on the Jets. He gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Green Wave lead it 6-0. And guess what, T-Red? They're going for 2. This time, Fudge underhanding it to Monye Gaither, and he's going to get in for the 2-pointer. That makes it 8-zip Green Wave. Now, after the defense gets a stop, is Fudge finding Couch again, and he's got a wide open touchdown. That makes it 14-0. If he did it once and it worked, why not do it again? Here's Couch taking the direct snap, and he's going to show off the footwork right here. He'll get into the end zone for a second 2-pointer. That makes it 16-0 Spencer. Green Wave keep on adding on. They win it 45-6.
And now over to A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. The Hardaway Hawks taking on the Kendrick Cherokees. Early on, the ball is loose, and it'll be Lee Campbell snatching it out of the hands of the Hardaway Hawks. And so long, farewell to you, my friend. That's a house call for the Cherokees as they go up 6-0. What a play there. You don't see that every day.
He's waving by, too.
Now, late in the second, here he goes, Lavasca Williams. We have seen this guy do all kinds of crazy stuff.
We've been talking about him all season long.
And here he goes again. He is gone, and that will extend the Cherokees' lead. And that'd be all they need, as Kendrick would win it 12-0.
Big win for the Cherokees. Now let's take you over to Lynn McWilliams Field. Calvary Christian playing host to Southwest Georgia STEM Charter tonight. Calvary searching for their 5th straight victory. 3 of Calvary's first 4 scores, not by the offense. The Aggies try to go deep. Jamar Williams says thank you very much, and he's going to methodically maneuver his way across the field. And yeah, they're not going to stop him. He's all the way into the end zone, coast to coast with a pick 6. Calvary up 7-0 early. Then the defense making another stop. Griffin Snow grabs the tip pass out of the air, and he's going to rumble and bumble and stumble into the end zone. Knights up 14-0. Then Calvary Special Teams got involved. Everybody getting involved tonight. Jamar Williams, we heard his name once. Here he goes again. He takes a punt, 65 yards for the touchdown, 28-0 in the first quarter. Calvary stays undefeated. They win this one 70-12.
Now over to Callaway Stadium. This was a Thursday night game. The Cavaliers taking on the Redan Raiders. Callaway in the red zone. It'll be a handoff to J.D. Strong, who is strong, but he gets held back, but then he finds a hole anyway, stretching out narrowly over the goal line. Cavaliers lead at first 7-0. Now the Raiders on offense, they're passing, but they run right into Callaway's Jeffrey Ellis on the pick, who flips the script headed towards pay dirt, and that pick is now a pick 6. Callaway leads it 14-0. What a heads-up play there by Ellis. And once again, the Cavaliers added on offense. Quarterback A.J. Williams rolls out. He's got a wide open Caden James in the end zone. Callaway goes up 20-0 there, and the Cavaliers going to win big, taking the win 50-0.
All right, let's take a look at our Mercedes-Benz Georgia scoreboard. Big win for True County tonight. both Troup County schools, I should say, besides Callaway, LaGrange beat Spalding 41-14, and then Troup County pitches a shutout on the road at Fayette County 44-0.
And coming up, we'll catch up with the Alabama schools. The Prep Zone is back on the other side of the break. Welcome back to WRBL's News 3 Prep Zone. We just got done with the Georgia schools. Now it's time to flip over to Alabama, and that takes us to Panther Stadium and Smith Station as the Panthers are hosting the Opelika Bulldogs tonight. Dogs with the ball first, and it'll be Colby Key. But unfortunately for him, he runs right into Smith Station's Michael Bonner, who snatches him down for the sack, temporarily putting a stop to the Dog offense. Eventually, though, Opelika would score on the drive thanks to a short run by C.J. Johnson. He's in there for a 7-0 Opelika lead, and the Dogs right back at it. Colby Key drops back to pass. He looks deep. He's got Jalen Washington open on a terrific diving play there, and he holds on for a first down and a big Opelika gain. That's followed off by this short run for Jordan Waits, who sneaks in just across the goal line for the second touchdown of the night. Dogs up 14-0, and Colby Key wants some more. Back to pass once again, going deep again. This time, though, it's Dre Van open in the end zone. He's in there just barely. Yeah, no kidding, for the touchdown pass, and it's 21-0 in the second quarter. Dogs would go on to take the win big, 42-6 over Smith Station.
All right, now let's take you to Wildcat Stadium in Enterprise. Central on the road, taking on the Wildcats. First play, Bobby Coleman handing it off to Leviticus Vaughn. He's going to get his way into the end zone on the outside for the touchdown. Central continues to build their lead. And then William Fott, he's going to get the ball on the kickoff for Enterprise, and he's going to do a little bit of damage right here. He's going to make his way upfield, and he's going to put Enterprise in a good spot to continue to kick off that drive. A little bit later, Phillip Houston hands it off to Jyrell Reese, and it takes 6 guys to bring him down, but he does end up getting the first down. And then a little bit later is Reese once again this time catching the pass, and he's going to get taken down by Radon McClendon. And the end of that drive would be this field goal, but it wouldn't be enough for Enterprise. Horns up tonight, 53-24.
How about that for Central? And of course, it was homecoming for the Glenwood Gators. They were hosting the Beulah Bobcats tonight. In the very first play of the game, Zayden Hart would run an 80-yard touchdown here for a 7-0 lead early. Later on, next Glenwood possession, it's Carter Judah. We've seen him all year. Here he is again, taking the ball, running it deep for yet another Glenwood touchdown. We're not even 3 minutes into the game, folks. And of course, the Gators already up 14-0. Then Jalen Stanley, he had 4 touchdowns tonight. This was his second. It was a dart to Cal Lawrence. Gators up 21-0, and the Gators put up 28 points in the first quarter. This one, though, was a Stanley pass to Cam Dawson. And, of course, what's he going to do with it other than take it to the house? The Gators would have a running clock in the second quarter. They go on to win big for homecoming, 40-0. That's how you do it at homecoming, Jack.
Indeed it is. Now let's take you over to Bulldog Stadium in Lafayette. The rivalry renewed. Lafayette taking on Lynette. Lynette at it first. Jacobius Stiggers on the quarterback keeper. He finds his way into the end zone, banging in there. That makes it 7-0 Panthers. Now here's Stiggers again. This time, he's taking the handoff, doing it himself, and he is gone. 70 yards all the way to pay dirt. That makes it 14-0 Lynette. Now here's Rickensia Tucker on the direct snap, and he's just going to cruise into the end zone for the touchdown. That makes it 21-0 Panthers. And then Brett Broughton on the quarterback keeper. He's going to find his way through some traffic, but he eventually gets into the end zone for the touchdown. That made it 28-0. And as we mentioned earlier in this show, this game was called at halftime. Lynette was leading 36-0. It's unclear if this game will be resumed at a later date or if this is the final. Stay with us on WRBL News 3 and WRBL.com for more information. Now let's take a look at our Mercedes-Benz Alabama scoreboard. Big win for Lee Scott tonight. It was a shootout. They win 58-33 over Randolph Clay, and the Chambers Academy Rebels keep on rolling. They shut out Lakeside 41-0.
The highlights, they're all in. It's now time to recognize who was the best of the best. The top 3 on 3 is next. Welcome back to WRBL's News 3 Prep Zone. All the highlights are in, and Jack, of course, it's time to show off who was the best of the best.
That's right, Tyler. The top 3 on 3 is brought to you by Southern Union State Community College. Now, let go. Top play number 3, we take you back over to Kendrick Hardaway. The ball loose, and Lee Campbell just snatches it. And so long, farewell to you, my friend. Goodbye from now. He's going to tell you bye, too, until we meet again. That's a house call. Cherokee's up 6-0. They win it 12-0. Tyler.
Now, let's go ahead and get your popcorn ready for Kelston Tarver for the Carver Tigers. He's starting the party of this game with a bang here, 59 yards all the way to the house. Tigers are going to take a 7-0 lead. Carver, of course, goes on to win this game big, 63-7.
That touchdown was 49 seconds into the game. Now we take you back last night to Callaway Stadium. The Redan Raiders on offense, but not for long. That pass goes right to Jeffrey Ellis. He plays for Callaway, and he flips a script. Spins off a few guys, and he's taking it to the house. That makes it 14-0 on the pick 6. And Callaway, they pitch a shutout. They win it 50-0.
And coming up, we're going to put a bow on this week's Prep Zone, so stay with us.
Welcome back to the WRBL News 3 Prep Zone. Tyler, your final thoughts on what has been a big night.
Well, yeah, we've seen a lot of big wins for a lot of big teams, right? A lot of teams still undefeated. Carver comes to mind. Calvary comes to mind. Auburn is one we didn't get to talk about tonight. They beat Jag on the road. So a lot of teams that are still have really good chances at the playoffs and potentially a state championship. But we're looking at Carver right here. They've been dominant really all season long. I expect nothing different going forward.
Absolutely. Columbus gave them a fight early, but Carver able to pull away late for a big win. They get that win 63-7. And then the Calvary Christian Knights as well. The turnaround continues, okay? Last year they were winless. This year they are still undefeated as we head late into September. A big win over South Georgia STEM Charter. They win that game 70-12. And listen, Jamar Williams, he had a night, okay? I know he had at least 4 touchdowns. He might have had 5. He had a night for the Knights tonight, and he's a big reason why they came out on top.
Well, who didn't have a night for the Knights? We're talking defense, special teams, offense was obviously in play. But everybody was, you see there, scooping a score right there. So everybody was in action for Calvary tonight, and that's why they're 5-0. They have a pretty interesting match coming up next week. I know we never like to look forward too much, but Brookstone, they got 1 loss. Calvary faces them next week. That's going to be an interesting game, and of course, it very well could be our game of the week.
We'll
see.
We'll decide that over the weekend. And then how about the Central Red Devils as well? You know, when you come off a huge win like they had last week over Dothan, they go down on the road to Enterprise, a team that has given them problems in the past, and they go out and they end up winning that game by almost 30 points. The Red Devils doing big work, and right now the stars are lining up. I know we don't like to look too far ahead, but we're a couple weeks out from maybe a collision between Central and Auburn that's going to have major implications in the Class 7A region race and title race.
Not to mention the game against IMG next week.
Exactly. You can't look too far ahead because Central's got IMG coming to Gary Harrison Stadium next week. So you definitely cannot look too far ahead. And once again, we also want to remind everybody of the situation that's going on in Lafayette during the Lynette and Lafayette game. For more information on that, for updated information, be sure to stay with WRBL.com and WRBL News 3 on our shows coming up tomorrow. But that's going to do it for the week 6 of the Prep Zone. Follow us on social media and join us same time next week. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is next. Make tomorrow a great day. We'll see you later.